Edit it out. So
Go.
what you never want to do is you never want to go 3, 2, 1, start. You always want to have the camera rolling and then you have people start because you can edit.
Okay, but
Remember, I used
ladies
to
first.
teach this stuff at school.
Anyway, ladies are first because men were created first, which means ladies get to go first
That
and
made
everything
no
else.
sense. It was only Adam. Adam was the only man to go first. That is so not fair.
Yes, and Eve was the only woman to go second, which means all the other women get to go.
No, she was
First
allowed to
and
go
everything
first out of the Garden of Eden because he wanted to the last look.
Yeah, because men are selfish.
Okay,
and
questions?
greedy.
You just said it was ladies first, so how is that selfish and greedy?
Olivia, go.
It wasn't my choice.
Olivia,
Yeah, it was God's choice.
When did you-
he's first. That's
when did you
another
first
reason.
meet?
Oh, sure.
Olivia, when did you first meet?
Okay.
What?
How long were you
already
guys
had that.
dating before you married?
Oh golly,
Ask her.
3-4 years we on and off
Ladies
seen
first.
each other. Yeah,
Okay.
we were really young when we first met.
Okay,
Yeah, we were.
your turn.
Very young.
Brayden,
13 probably.
how did you meet?
How did you meet?
How would we meet? How
Well-
does anybody meet?
We used to go to these parks when we was kids, ride our bikes, and a bunch would come from all directions. That's how we met.
That's right. You know where Howard Park is?
Don't know
You know
where it
where
is,
our
but
park-
I'm.
I don't think the kids do.
Well, we used to hang out. All kids used to hang out
Yeah,
down there
from all ends of
because
town.
they had all of the slides and all the equipment down there. So kids would go down there to hang out.
Mhm. That's-
She was just a young kid.
You was too.
Well,
Both
yeah.
were.
I wasn't very old.
What year did you guys meet?
What year did you guys get married?
46.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Okay. Ladies get to go
You
first
don't remember.
and second. Okay.
What was the most romantic thing Grandpa did for
What
you?
is
What's the most romantic thing?
What is the most romantic thing you've ever done for Grandma?
Oh, no. Let's not go there.
Come on, we want to know.
No, let's not go there.
What's the most romantic thing Grandpa's ever done for you?
No, talk up.
No. It's just talk.
Okay, go the other direction.
So there's a secret that lies in our family.
Done.
Aww.
Well, there probably is.
Okay. Your turn, Brayden. Think of a good question.
Ladies first.
When did you kiss? What was the first time you kissed?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
where was your first
Then you
kiss?
caught Braden without a question?
Ha
Ha ha.
What'd you say?
Where was your first kiss at?
In the car?
Okay.
Who was the first one to lean in?
ha. That is. Oh.
That's gross. Okay.
That's what Karina means in Italian.
No.
Just
Oh.
4 times in a row. It's your turn.
Ladies first.
I already know.
Brayden, say a
And
question.
second, and third, and fourth.
Yeah. Ladies first to fifth.
All right.
Did you have any other categories?
Oh, how many kids did you want to
Oh
have?
yeah. How many kids were you guys planning to have?
Well, my husband wanted more, but I didn't. After I had my third, I wanted no more.
After your third?
Yes,
Grandpa, can you
but I
move your
had
knee?
one more.
Well, I was going to say,
Well, I know.
Can you move your knee?
where'd Paul
But
come
yeah, I
from?
had 4.
He
So
was
4
4.
children. Who is your oldest?
Nancy Bone,
Youngest.
Malaya.
Second youngest?
Yep, that's my baby.
Second.
Who is?
Malaya?
Second
She got my
youngest,
second.
Paul Eugene.
Grandpa.
Oh, Eugene
The boys was in the
connection.
middle.
Yes.
Okay.
That is a
What was
connection.
Grandpa?
That's the only way I remember.
What was Grandpa?
So Eric
No.
Wade
Eric.
Hicks was the second born?
Yes.
Okay.
Now you're
Paul
confusing me.
Eugene
So
Hicks.
Malaya was last.
Yeah, Paul was after him.
What was Melissa's
And now
original
Now, I'll
name?
tell you something you never knew, probably.
Linda. Linda
Okay.
We
Kay.
never named
Did you
her
hear
Malaya.
that, folks?
We never named her Malaya. On her birth certificate, it don't read that at all.
Well, that's what she's asking me. Linda Kay.
It reads Linda K. Hicks.
And now it's Malaya K.
No K.
Okay.
She done that years
She's
ago.
just Malaya Hicks.
Malaya, she changed that for reasons with the art. I
Art,
guess.
yeah. She worked in the French quarters.
Is that what Vincent
And she
Van
didn't
Gogh
want
did?
people knowing her real name. So that's what really started it.
In case you don't know where the
And
French
so she
quarters
chose
are at,
Malaya.
you're in Louisiana.
Is that what Vincent Van Gogh? No, he cut off his ear. Never mind.
And he gave it to his girlfriend. You're gonna do that, Brayden?
That's what he did romantic for. I'm joking.
He still has both ears though.
I'm not gonna do anything like that.
Okay, Brayden, Olivia's asked 5 questions in a row. Your turn.
How much would Chuck Chuck and Woodchuck
Check this check. Oh, golly, Des, I've heard that in years.
Ladies first.
What was your first date? Ask that, Brayden.
What? Thank you. Wait, what?
What was your first date?
Where was your first date?
What?
Where was your first date?
First date?
Who could know that
I-
was 68, 70 years ago?
Well, one thing, we used to meet called Bowlemore. It was bowling alley uptown. And he didn't have a car because he's in the service at that time. How'd you get up there? Come thinking, I always took you home.
At one time, you had your mom's car.
Yeah, I know what I had, yeah. But I just have to think, how'd you get up there?
Probably on,
Because you lived on Carroll Street at that time.
probably walked. We usually did.
Well, yeah, it's about a mile.
Yeah.
I run a mile.
We used
Oh,
do
we used to have to run a
lot of
mile every
that
day.
and everything.
You gotta remember, kids, 75, 80 years ago, things were altogether different.
Quite
Questions you're asking is something we can't always remember.
different. I can remember
The old
quite a bit
brain
of
is
it.
deteriorating.
Okay.
I think we can move on to
Now
the
your
next
turn.
category. When did you decide to get married? How about
Don't
that?
give her ideas.
We
That's
already
what
asked-
you're supposed
We already asked how long they've been dating for. They said 3 or 4 years, so it was 3 or 4 years after they met.
Ask Grandpa to talk a little bit about the Navy or.
No, not in this
Talk about
category.
the
Not in this
Navy,
category,
Grandpa.
though.
to. My line.
What do you want to know about the
Ladies
Navy?
first.
Ladies first for 7 times.
What kind of ship were you on?
Okay, that's a good question. I spent a couple of years aboard a converted cargo ship, converted to be a refrigeration ship. We carried food.
Ah!
So that's what you
Cargo ship
did?
has
I
4
know this alley.
holes. You know what a hole is on a ship. Now,
So did you get
so we carried 3 holes would carry refrigerated food, and the 4th hole was, I hate to say this, was beer for the officers. They always got better than we did. And we would take food wherever we had personnel, Americans, like their station, Bermuda, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Trinidad. We went all in places, dropped food. And then we went clear up to Iceland, way up there, and we went to Europe.
Was it cold in Iceland?
Well, yes, it was.
I thought Iceland and
It
Greenland
was
were the
cold in
exact
Iceland.
opposite. Greenland was the one that was cold. Iceland was the one that was warm.
Where'd you get that crazy idea?
Internet.
Listen to that, Grandpa.
Okay,
That's
so
all right. You got something to say, speak right up.
how long were you in the military for?
Navy.
Pardon?
Ladies first. How long were you in the Navy?
3 years.
3.5.
Okay.
Oh, I just thought of
Were there
something,
any
but I forgot.
storms that you had to go through?
Yes, we did.
Can you talk about one? Your
I went
worst?
for one of the most vicious storms you'd ever think
Oh,
of.
you better believe it.
And it was up in the North Atlantic.
Yeah, you used to tell about
If you'd
that,
get
too.
your maps out or a globe or whatever you use, the North Atlantic, that's when we went to Iceland. The waters up there were tremendously terrible. Our ship went just like this. If you've ever seen a movie of a ship, well, of course, this is made up in California where they make up these things, but I was actually in that kind of water and it was bad,
Yikes.
bad.
Did any of the crew die in that storm?
Did I what?
Did any of the crew die in that storm?
No,
Good.
we hung on to a rope.
Oh.
Well, I'll see, on the ship, our living quarters, mine, was aft. That's the back end of the ship. And then they had living quarters up in front, which is the bow. And the back end is called a stern. You won't remember any of this probably.
We have it on video.
What was your favorite and least favorite part of being in the Navy?
My favorite part?
Yeah, and your least favorite?
Oh, that's a good question. I tell you what, I never minded the Navy. I thought, like Air, he had to go over there in Vietnam places. I never had that. We just had a lot of rough water to go through. First time I got sick, yeah, you heard of getting sick in water? You know, it was, you go ashore, you go out there. We left Charleston in the Carolinas to go to Bermuda. And I get right out, just a few miles out in the water off of the Carolinas. There's a thing there called, what do they call it, a triangle.
Bermuda Triangle?
Triangle, where the waters are always,
Yeah, I've heard.
always churning.
I read a book about that.
Yeah, it's always, we went through that. And I got sick and I threw up all over the place. But I wasn't alone. A lot of people were heading for the rails to throw up their dinner.
That sounds like fun.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
taught you one thing. If you're going to eat, before you go out, if you're on Liberty somewhere, it's out on the shore, and you got to get a board ship because you're leaving tomorrow, don't eat a big meal or a greasy meal because you never know for sure where you're going to go. And that means officers alike. I've seen a lot of them go over there and get sick. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Seasickness makes you feel terrible. Terrible. But it don't last long.
Was that storm you were talking about, was that in Bermuda Triangle? The triangle?
Oh, that was up in the North Atlantic when we went to Iceland.
Okay.
See, we had two ships in the United States Navy that took food around. You often wonder how they get food to all these people. Well, we had ships to take it. And the other ship was our sister ship. I don't know if that was on that sheet that you made up for me or not, Eric.
The other ship?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it was just the one.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Well, anyway, our sister ship got torpedoed up in the North Atlantic by a German U-boat. So it didn't sink it. It limped its way into Iceland. So we had to make an emergency trip. We'd just come back from Europe, and we had to reload the ship with food and start off again. And that was the roughest trip I ever had. Really rough. But we made it.
Good.
We made it. That's all part of being in the Navy.
And how old were you two when you got married?
I was 19.
Marriage.
19.
You got married?
Toots was 17.
17.
Okay. And how did you get your nickname, Toots?